Evenfall is a game that we got late last year, I believe, on a Black Friday sale. So we got it, we played it, we really enjoyed it. So I want to check out the solo mode. Solo mode seems pretty simple and easy to run. So, of course, that means I have now recorded. I am now going to hit it like a hermit and show you Evenfall solo play. We are set up here for the solo play of Evenfall. So I have done an unboxing and how to play. I'll put that link right up above if you want to know fully on how this plays. I'm going to kind of do a brief overview of that and kind of touch on how the solo plays, and then we are going to get started. So one of the first things I do want to mention is we are using the moon side of the board, which unlocks special abilities, kind of creates some asymmetry, etc. So in that regard, with the circle, what happens is in their starting place of power, the eternal tree, it actually starts in the outer circle. And then you're going to grab one of these caverns that doesn't have a binding bonus, which you'll see caverns up here that do. It does not have the binding bonus, and both of those go up in your outer circle. Next then, when we do the scout phase with this one, we actually harvest this stuff. We're not going to harvest it when we do the clan tokens. That'll make a bit more sense when I do the brief overview of how to play. Next part of setup for the solo is you have this Automa over here. So you're going to grab an unused player color, put their 4 witches up here, put their 2 scoring discs there, then the other 2 discs are going to go at the top of this rondel and the bottom of their coven track. And what I really like about this game is they have this little rule summary down here for the Automa. It doesn't cover everything, but it covers enough that it kind of helps you out as you play. So now you set up the other parts of the game. As you grab the northern and central, it's as if you're setting up for a 2-player game. You're going to randomly put out the power stones. You're going to shuffle up the places of power, put 3 in each spot. Shuffle up the deck that is the specialist, council member, and rituals. And then you're going to start in the scout phase. So the game is going to play over 3 rounds. 5 phases per round. So the first phase is the scout phase. So you're just going to look up here. So I draw 6 cards. I get 3 knowledge. And then for this moon side of the circle, I'm going to harvest all of my places of power, which gives me the resource up there. After that, we are going to move into the action phase. The action phase is going to just be, I'm going to play a card, spending stuff that's on it. Rituals are going to go on places of power. Specialists are going to go over here. I can spend what's down here on the bottom of my board to put council members, and then those will just get slid underneath it. They're going to have end of game effects, always in effect or at the end of round. After I do an action, I am going to flip over a card. I am going to look at how many victory points it scores, and then that is how many spaces I am going to move the disc around the rondel. Wherever it lands, I am going to do a certain action. The coven track is going to move up on its coven track. Let me grab the rules to go over these in depth for you before we get started. So the coven track is, I'm going to advance on the coven track. The Automa gains the matching bonus. So I would just move up 1 spot. These all do various things. Like these first couple ones here they'll draw from the top of the deck. I'll just do them as we go through. When they land on northern lakes or central mountains, they are going to discover a place of power. This is going to be similar to how I do it. I will be doing all my actions throughout the game. You'll see how that goes. But basically, when they discover a place of power, they're going to be going from left to right and putting the matching one. So all these need 2. That one needs 1 and 2. So if it landed on the central mountains, it would first put a witch here and to take this to its outer circle. One thing I will say is if, say, they have taken these cards and need to discover a place of power, they are able to use 1 witch to take a number 2, one that needs 2 witches. Normally you would not be able to, but the Automa itself can use 1 witch to take a place that needs 2 if it is their last witch. Coming around here, play the top card. We're going to flip the top card and play it as a specialist or as a ritual on one of their places of power. Coming back around here, Northern Lakes again. X on the coven track. So it's going to go up on the coven track based on level of difficulty. I am going to be playing on Apprentice, the first level, so it's going to go up 1 space on the coven track. This bottom one with the coven track has an X for points and then coven track, so that the points it gains is going to be based on difficulty level, I'm choosing Apprentice, so they're going to gain 1 point, and then they're going to go up 1 on the Coven track. Again, play the top cards, Coven track, and Central Mountains. The other thing about the Automa is whenever it would gain any form of mana or resources or cards based on something, it will instead gain points for those items. So I'm going to take an action. Automa's going to go back and forth until I pass. When I pass, the Automa passes, and then we move on to the battle phase. So the battle phase is we are going to start in the Northern Lakes. You are going to set your combat strength. Your combat strength is going to be how many witches you have there, and possibly elders if something allows you to put them out there. Normally they are not. You'll see why as I play. But it's the number of witches, and then how much mana you choose to devote to it, spending it from over here. So that is how we set our battle power. Their battle power is going to be the current round, the number of witches, and then we're going to draw cards from the main deck equal the number of witches, adding their victory point total to set their power. You do need to have a witch in an area to participate in the battle. After the battle phase, we get to the last one, which is the end phase, which is we basically are going to do cleanup. We are going to refill our places of power. We are going to ready anyone who needs to be turned over to be used. And this is one that I always have to kind of double check the ready. We activate any round effects. We replenish the places of power. We place all witches and elders back to our clan board. Flip the clan token to its active side. Ready all cards and move the round marker 1 space forward. At the end of 3 rounds, we move to endgame scoring. So that is a brief, quick, high-level way of playing it. You'll kind of see how it goes as I play, and I'll definitely walk through at least the first few times I do an action. So we've already done the scout phase. I have my 6 cards in hand. I have all of my resources. So I think the first thing I'm going to play is Irene and the Gray Stray. So this costs 2 knowledge and 1 herb. So I spend my 2 knowledge. I spend my 1 herb because this is a specialist. They come up here. Irene and the Gray Stray. So they have an always active ability. Each time I discover a place of power, I am going to harvest it. So this is a really good card to have with the circle, because typically the way you harvest stuff is you activate your clan token, but because that's not part of this faction special abilities, it harvests at the beginning. This will allow me to get resources as I'm discovering the places of power. So that is me. So now we go to the Automa. We're going to flip over. This has 2 victory points on it. So we move this 1 and 2. They're going to discover Great Lakes. So they are going to put 2 witches out here. And this cavern comes over into their outer circle. I'll do my best to try and keep everything on the screen, but these tableaus can get possibly fairly wide. I'll probably end up kind of scooting mine over this way. I know typically I normally don't play many specialists, and we'll see kind of how this ends up going. So that was my first action. They have the cavern. So I probably want to discover a place of power before they start getting all the fun ones. So that's a point and some mana. And then when I cover it up, I do the advance on the Coven track. I kind of think I like that one. So we are going to send 2 of our witches here to discover Henge. And then because of my Irene and the Gray Stray, I actually gain a point and a mana based on the harvest ability up there. So next they go, another 2. 1 and 2, so they play the top card, so we flip it over, and they play it as a specialist. There we go. My turn again. So let's see. Spatial distortion. When playing this ritual, you may spend mana instead of that. Now I kind of want some cards. I actually think I might play this Nora Will Forger. This is always active when building catalysts. I can spend mana, 2 mana for a scythe or 3 mana for an orb. That's going to be helpful, and you'll see why when I activate my clan token. So they want 1 knowledge and 2 potions. So we'll put them over here as well. We're kind of stack them there like so. So that was mine. So let's flip over this next card. Oh, the other thing I didn't mention is that these yellow spots can never be passed over. So if I say this one is a 3, I would only move 2 and I would stop at that coven track. This is instead a 1, so they move here to Northern Lakes. So again, they're going to look over here. They're going to send their last 2 witches out here to discover this cavern like so. So now I know I can basically come here and for sure win the Central Mountains, even if I only send 1 witch out there, because they're not going to have any witches there to battle me. So that will be a benefit. And more than likely they're going to win that one because they're going to be drawing 4 cards. So they're going to excessively win on that one. So now I look at my stuff. I think I am going to actually send a witch out here to this action space to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. So that is there. So I did the action space, so now it is the Automa's turn. This is a 1. Well, we knew right where they were going anyways, so they are going to score a point, move up on the action track, which lets them draw a place of power, and put it right out. Alright, so now I have some fun stuff in here. So I have a Mystic Elephant that when I play it, I'm going to get 2 mana and 2 points, and then I can put typically only a witch, but because of my special ability, I can actually use elders to activate these spaces, and then choose an opponent for each of their power stones. I can get a mana. I'm really wanting more rituals, but I'm getting just a lot of these people. And games, and games. Ooh, this one might not be bad. Each time you place or move an elder, 1 point. So because I can put them up here, I might be using them a lot more. So they're one I may be wanting to get under here soon, to which I'll need a knowledge. We are going to, I think, go ahead and I think we're going to discover another place of power. We're going to come out here and grab this Misty Castle. Like so. I will then harvest it because of my character, so I get to draw a card. Okay. So there is that. So now they're going to go. We flip over a card. It is another 1. So they play the top card. The top card is another specialist. I'm just going to kind of have a pile because they don't do anything really except for count for points at the end. So now I do need a knowledge to be able to play this person down here. And the way you can do that is there's a free action where I can discard, there we go, discard 2 cards to get a resource of my choice. So I think we are going to discard these 2 to get a knowledge. And then it's a knowledge, a potion, and an herb for your first council member. So that is where I'm going to put this person, that each time I place an elder or move an elder, I will gain a point. So there is that. This is moving 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Play the top card. So this is a ritual. When playing rituals, they prioritize places of power with a binding bonus from left to right. Well, they do have this very first one here. So they would get a potion, but they just get a point instead. And then if this was a familiar, they would also get the 2 points, but they do not. So instead they just bind that right there. We are up to my turn, and I think I'm going to activate my place of, or my clan token, which is going to give me a mana for each place of power. So that's going to give me 4 mana. I had that one there. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that is looking pretty good there. So their turn. Flip this over. They're going to be moving 2. They will not. They are going to stop here. They're going to move one of these down that has a ritual on it. So this one comes down here to their inner circle. That is important because you're only going to be scoring points for these rituals that are down in your inner circle. Alright, so I think I'm going to be playing a ritual now. I want to play this Mystic Elephant. So I need 2 potions and knowledge. So I need 2 more resources. So I think I am just going to discard the rest of my cards. This may be a bad idea, but I want to get a potion and I want to get a knowledge. I am then going to spend my knowledge, my 2 potions, and my herb to put the Mystic Elephant out. So, on this henge, if I cover this up, I'm going to advance on the Coven track. That is where I want to go with this. So we're going to put that there. I advance on my Coven track, which is actually the same as there. So I'm going to draw this top place. And I'm going to kind of put it here. I'm hopefully going to be able to rearrange this. So I just discovered this one. Each time you discover a place of power, harvest it. So that gives me 1 and 2 mana. And then this one is when I do the covering of it, I'm going to get 2 mana, and then I can place an elder from your reserve in a region, which is one of these. Oh yeah, that was all my hand. So I've now played them out there. Alrighty, going on next, I am now going to do theirs because I did an action. So that is 2. So they're going to move 1, 2. They're going to discover on Northern Lakes. They cannot. There's nothing there, and they have no witches. So I'm going to assume that nothing happens. Then now it becomes my turn. So it doesn't say in the rulebook if I can place someone even if it doesn't do anything, because I would like to place my Elder here. I'm not going to get any mana because they don't have any Power Stones, but it would give me a point. I'm going to assume I can't if I don't actually get anything from it. I'm going to build a catalyst. So I'm going to spend my herb, lets me build a catalyst. So there's 2 different types of catalysts. There are orbs that you can spend 2 potions to do, or size you can spend a herb to do. If you put out a orb, it's going to push you up 1 on the Coven track. If you put out a scythe, what's going to happen is when you harvest this place, you are going to get more of this. So now when this harvest, I'm going to be getting 2 points and 2 mana. Although thinking about it, I think I actually want to spend the 2 mana and keep the herb so I have resources for next turn. Because of my Nora Will Forger, I'm able to do that. So I did an action. They're going to go. They move 2, 1, 2, play the top card. It is a ritual. So they go left to right, binding with a familiar. This is a familiar, so they are going to get 1 point for the binding bonus of the potion and 2 for binding with a familiar. So they get 1, 2, and 3 points, and they have rushed out to a lead. I will now pass, so now they are going to pass. So now we go into the battle phase. So we are going to look at each one individually, starting with this first one. So normally you would also be fighting over first player, but I am always first player in the solo one. So right now their strength is 4 to my 2. Whoever wins also gets a Power Stone. But whether you win or not, you will get battle rewards if your strength gets up that high. So I could spend 2 mana basically to draw a card. Looking over here to where this is, I'm at 2. I know I'm probably going to want to spend 4 here to get a herb and up on the Coven track. So do I have 6? I do not. I only have 5. So that Coven track does seem important to me because it's victory points, and then it's getting me up higher to where I can start doing better stuff, and I don't want to ignore that Coven track. So I think I'm going to pass on spending mana there. So I do not spend anything. They are going to draw 4 cards. So theirs is 4, plus the round is 5, plus 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it does gain these stuff for its reward. So it would get a card, it gets a point instead. It gets 3 points, 1, 2, and 3. And now that's going to be moving one of these down, so the cavern now comes down here as well. So that is their battle rewards, and then the Power Stones, they just take them from left to right, so we'll put their Power Stone right there. Coming over here to Central Mountains, again, they are not there, so I will automatically win, but I can spend stuff to push myself up to get that more rewards, which I will. I will spend the 4 mana. So 1, 2, 3, 4. That puts me at a 6. So I get an herb. I go up on the Coven track, which gives me 3 points. 1, 2, and 3. And then I get my pick of these Power Stones. So Power Stones are going to double the points you get from a ritual at the end of the game. But you have to put one that matches the symbol in the corner of the cards. So seeing as the Henge is the only one I have a card on so far, I'm going to grab that one because it matches, and that's going to go right there. So that is the battle phase. So now we move into the end phase. That is, I bring all my witches back. We are going to give them their witches back. We replenish these places of power. We move the round tracker. If any of our specialists had a special ability that they got turned, we would activate that now. And I'm pretty sure that's it. Oh, no, the one last thing was flipping my clan token. Alright. So now that is it. So we are now into round 2. So we are going to start with the scout phase. The scout phase is I get 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. I get 3 knowledge. 1, 2, and 3. And then because of my side of the board, I am going to harvest. So I get a herb, I get a potion, I get 2 mana, 1, 2. This is going to give me 2 points and 2 mana because of the scythe, and then this is going to give me an additional card. They do not do anything for the scout phase. It is just me in the scouts. Alright, looking at what I got, I think I want to do this thought consumption. A, it's worth 4 points. B, this special power is nice. It's when I put a worker there, I can discard a card to get 2 points, and if that card has a lightning effect, I gain that effect. So I do actually have one of those already, but I will also then be looking for those. But again, like I said, it's 4 points. Unfortunately, it needs 4 herbs and 2 potions, so I am going to be wanting to probably discover a place of power that has that stuff. I don't see a potion one out there, but I do see the Spirit Bog, which gives me a herb. So we're probably going to go ahead and let's go. I like going over here so I could do the Coven track. So I'm going to put 2 witches over here to grab the Spirit Bog, which is going to get me an herb, like so. And that is me. So now they go. They are going to move 2. 1, 2. They get a point. They move up 1 on the Coven track, which is to grab one of these cards. So now I have my 4 herbs. So I need another potion. I'm probably going to discard cards to be able to do that. Let's go ahead and discard these 2 to get a potion, and then spend my 4 herbs and my 2 potions to put out my thought consumption. So I'm going to put it on here. This is going to give me 2 mana, and then I may place an elder from your reserve in a region. So these are the regions, so I can basically, I believe, activate its effect. Alright, so correction, I just double checked that to make sure, or to check what I was doing, and this does not actually activate anything. You're basically putting them there to help in the battle phase. So, but it does say place it, so I will actually still get the point for my special thing. And I'm probably going to be going there a couple more times, so I think instead we are going to put him over here so we can kind of maybe build this up. Or I could just go heavy, I'm just going to go heavy in this one. Because I'll probably put my other 2 witches over here, which means I'll have 5, which means it'll be easy for me to get up to those 5 points. So I place him, so because of that 1 power, I get a point. That is mine. We flip this over. They're going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. They move up on their Coven track. This means they're going to harvest their place up here. They do not gain anything, so they're just going to get points. So they get 1 and 2 points. So now I have 2 spots I can put my elders. I normally, again, can't put them up here, but because of my board, I am able to. So, I think first, so the all ley lines is if that place, or you transfer it down, if that place of power has a ritual, gain points equal to its value. So that's giving me 2 mana. That's pretty nice, but that's giving me points. And I'm pretty sure I'm about to grab that one anyways to get those mana back. So I think we are going to put our person here, which lets me discard a card to get 2 points. We are going to... Oh, wait, but it's got to be a different... Move down another place of power. So that's going to be a weird dynamic. I don't know exactly how that would work because normally you'd put this on somewhere and then you put another place of power down, but because I am discarding it and using its ability, I'm not sure if I can use it for the same thing. I'm going to assume I can. It looks like it's a weird fringe case they probably haven't addressed. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to discard this card. That gives me 2 points. I then can move down a place of power. So we will move this down to our outer circle. Like so. And then because I used a druid, I get another point. I am wanting to maybe try and get this person out here soon. It's each time you move down a place of power, I get 3 points. Because I haven't started moving them down yet, I could hopefully rack that up, but I am going to need 2 of each resource to do that. And right now I'm a little resource light. So we'll see how that works out. So that is my turn. Their turn is they're going to move 4. 1, 2, they stop here, move down 1 with a ritual. They have none with a ritual, so nothing moves down. My turn. I think I am going to go discover one of those places of power over here I was wanting. I think I'm going to grab that other Mystic Springs. That Spirit Bog would be nice just so I can make sure I have enough herbs going forward. But I didn't want to really divide my people. I wanted to be able to use that to go get those 5 points. Plus, I'd only plan to use 1 because I can do 1 to get cards. I'm going to stick with my plan. I'm going to come here to grab that, and that gets me 2 mana, like so. Their turn. They're going to move 2. 1, 2, Northern Lakes. They send out 2 witches. They get henge. I know I want to send out my elder there eventually. I have 1 more witch. Let's go ahead and do the witch so I can get some cards. That lets me draw 1, 2, and 3 cards, like so. So their turn is they're going to move 1 space. They are going to go to the Central Mountains. So they're going to send their 2 witches out here to grab that Misty Castle. Again, I'll kind of just stick it off over there. So for my next thing, I think I'm going to activate my clan token, which is a mana for each place I have up here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That puts me at 15. Their turn to go. They're going to move 2. 1, 2. They're going to discover at Northern Lakes. They don't have any witches, so they do not. I am now going to build Catalyst. Over here I can use 3. 1, 2, and 3. I am going to put out an orb down here on my thought consumption, which moves me up 1 on my Coven track, which gives me 3 cards. 1, 2, and 3. Alrighty, so that gives me some more stuff, like so. They go. They are going to move 3, but they're not going to move more than that. They're just going to move the 1. They get a point. They go up on the Coven track. Gives them a place of power. Let's go ahead and we're going to just kind of double stack these for now, like so. Alright, so now I'm looking at my cards. I know I want to eventually play that, and I know I want to play her. So that gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards I don't care about. I don't think I'm close to playing either of these because I don't have the stuff to be able to go down there. This needs 5 resources of stuff that I don't have. So I'm pretty sure I may end up passing and just trying to do a bunch of stuff in my last turn. My problem is I haven't been able to get a lot of places of power up here that give me resources for when I go. Alright. I think I should have gone here a couple of times. That'll probably be where I start going next time to turn some of these cards into resources. Especially because we need to try and get these with some rituals on them and bring them down. So then I am going to pass, and they are going to pass. So we come here. I have no one here. They are going to draw 2 cards, 1 and 2. So they have 1, 2, 4, 5, 9. They have a 9 strength. So they get a card, which is a point, and 3. So they get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, and 4. It didn't really cover about moving a card down with them. I'm going to assume it moves the next one down. We'll say. Like so. I don't know. That wasn't covered in there. And then they take the next Power Stone. I need to remember to do that next turn. Alright. So now mine, I am at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They are at 4. Plus whatever cards they get. So I would like to gain a Power Stone, especially because it's going to be able to double this one. So I believe the most the cards are is 4, so at most they can do 8, 10, 12. I'm at 5. I win ties. So do I spend 7? Let's go ahead and spend 7 just to make sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that puts me at 12. They get 2 cards. They get a 1 and a 3, or 2. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So they get an herb, which is a point, and they go up on their coven track, which lets them play the top card. I'm going to assume they're trying to score points, so it'd go down to there. I get everything. So I get an herb. I go up on the coven track, which gives me 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then I get another 5 points. So we are actually now there. And then I get my pick of one of these. Well, they're all the same, so we're just going to grab that one. Like so, and done. So now we go with the whole cleanup again. I'll join you back here after I do my scout phase. Alright, so this round is going to be all about trying to get rituals out and getting these moved down. So I think the first thing we're actually going to do is we're going to activate our little guy up here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That gives me 6. Now they're going to go. They are going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. They move on their coven track. So they're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points. Next, I'm going to take my witch. We are going to come out here. We are going to discard a card. And we are going to grab resources. So we are going to grab... Let's start with 2 potions and an herb. I'm just going to kind of kick stuff off to the side of stuff that I'm going to need to be able to have to play stuff. Next, so that was me, so now they go. So they are going to move 2. 1, 2, they play the top card. They put this on. Oh, they powers with binding bonuses. So they're going to go here, which is going to have them advance on the coven track, which is going to give them another place of power. We're just going to start stacking them like that. Alright. So now my turn. I think we are going to use our Elder to go here. We'll give ourselves a point for using our Elder. I'm going to discard this Cat Advisor. The special ability is each player may advance on the coven track. I gain 2 points for each advancement. So because it's that, so first I get the 2 points. I'm going to advance on my coven track, which lets me bring one of these down. So let's go ahead. It doesn't fully matter. We're going to bring down the Spirit Bog. And then they're going to advance. They play the top card. So again, a binding bonus. We'll go here. That gives them 2 points. And then I am going to get 4 points for the movements. So that is mine. They are going to move 4. They only move the 1. They bring one down with a ritual. They want to do the one with the most. So it's this Eye of Plenty. Just kind of stacking them there for now. So the Eye of Plenty. Now it is my turn. So there's a couple different things I want to do. Probably should have put that lady out first, but that's what we're going to do now. We're going to put out our one specialist by spending our 2 of everything and getting her out here. So now every time I move a place of power down, I will get it 3 points. So there is that one. They go. They're going to move 2. 1, 2. They go to Northern Lakes. They grab the archive, like so. My turn. So I'm looking at this Gate of Hell. So I do want to put out another witch here. We will discard this card. So I need an herb for this. And then a potion, and I'm going to grab a knowledge. There's my turn. They are going to move 2. 1, 2, play the top card. The top card is a ritual. So we're going, and I believe this one was the next one. So that gives them 2 more points. So we are now going to spend our 2 potions and our 3 herbs. We are going to put out the Gate of Hell. The Gate of Hell is an enchantment. So I'm not going to put it on my artifact. I am going to put it on one of these up here. It doesn't really matter per se. I am going to want to look and see which ones I'm probably going to win. I'm probably going to win one of those. So let's go ahead and put it on the Mystic Springs. And that is that. Alrighty, next up is their turn. Nino of the Cursed Edom, they are going to move 2. 1, 2. They get a point. They move on the Coven track. So they are going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 points. Alright, so now the Gate of Hell allows me to advance on the Coven track and double its bonus. I am going to wait until I move 1 more so I can bring down 2 different things. So I'm probably going to instead right now then do an orb. So I'm going to build a catalyst. I'm going to spend 1, 2, 3 because of my character over here. And we're going to put an orb on the Gate of Hell. That pushes me up 1 and gives me 5 points. Their turn goes. They're going to move 2. 1, 2. Play the top card. I really wish they'd get more specialists. They're going to come down here on the binding with an enchantment. It is. So 1, 3 more points. 1, 2, 3. So now I'm there. So I'm going to move over my dude right here. Spend a knowledge. Discard a card, advance on my Coven track, and double its effects. So we are going to bring down my Mystic Elephant. We are going to bring down my Gateway to Hell, like so. And done. We are now going to flip over a card. They are going to move 2. 1, 2. Central Mountains. They put out their 2. This comes over here. Like so. And I just realized a long time ago, I don't believe I gave myself my 4 points for my thought consumption when I moved it down. If I did, I'll make a notation at this point. If I didn't, I'll have made a notation way back then. So I think next up I want to get this Summoning Circle out. I really like the Summoning Circle. It allows me to do 2 knowledge to play 1 ritual for free. I do need 4 resources for that, though. Which, am I going to have that? So I need 3 more. Do I have 6 cards? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do. So we're going to discard all of those to get 2 herbs and a potion. We're going to then spend our 2 herbs and our 2 potions to put out the Summoning Circle. Again, it doesn't fully matter because I'm not going to be able to get a Power Stone for any of these, so we'll put it there. So now I am basically wanting to put a worker there to get my Choir Cauldron out on my Spirit Bog and then just try and get that down. That is basically what we're looking at doing. So that was my turn. They're going to go. They are going to move 4. 1, 2. They're actually going to stop there. They're going to move 1 down with the ritual. They prioritize the most expensive one. They all have 1. So then it is left to right. So we're going to bring down Henge. There we go. Alright, so we're going to put out my Elder up here. We are going to spend our 2 knowledge to put out a ritual for free. Because I used one of those, I get a point. We're going to put out our Choir Cauldron. We are going to put it down here, binding with this artifact, which gives me an herb. And because they're both artifacts, that is going to give me 2 points. 1 and 2. I have caught up again. He's probably going to pull away at this point, though. So he goes again. He is going to move 1. Moves up on his Coven track. Play the top card. Hey, it's finally a specialist again. Next up, so I have 1 Elder left that I can place on one of these. So I have 1 that lets me harvest this place of power and 1 in the same circle. Or I can do the whole one where I get the mana from them. Harvest this one, so that gives me an herb. And then another place of power, so we're going to go the whole point and a mana. They are going to move 2. 1, 2. Central Mountains, they don't have anyone, so they can't do anything. And I just realized I still have a couple of witches left. So I'm trying to decide if I want to make sure I can do well there or come over here. I'm going to want to try and do here because I'm going to want to try and get... Well, I can do this at the end of the game, but I'm going to put that there for 4. And so I want to get that one, it looks like, for my 3. So I'm going to want to put them there. So I'll probably just discover a place of power. Oh, and that could have got me my thing. Oh, well. Hindsight's 20/20. So they just went, so it's my turn, so I'm deciding what I want to do. I think we are going to put out our Djinn Mirror. Wait, this is an artifact. If I do the Spirit Bog, we're going to hold off on putting this out. Those 2 and that 1. We are instead going to put out our 2 witches here. Grab the Spirit Bog, which gets me 1 of those. They are going to move 3. 1, 2, 3. That gives them a point. Moves up on here. Play the top card. Another specialist. Now we are going to spend our knowledge and our 2 herbs to put out the Djinn Mirror. That's going to give me my herb back. It is an artifact. That's going to give me 2 points. And I just realized I never gave myself my 6 for moving these down. So there. Alright. Their turn. They're moving 2. 1, 2. Play the top card. Top card. Binding bonus. It goes on here. And then that binding bonus is it puts down this place of power. Alrighty, now we go. So, looking at this, I have 3 spots for catalysts. If I can go 1, 2, if I can move mine up 3, I can move down both of those, although I know I'm probably going to be able to get to there. And I can spend mana to push it up. So I may push it up 2 to get one of them down and spend the rest here to make sure I can win that one. So, because that's going to be 6, so that's going to put me at 7. 11, they're going to be at 5. They might be able to beat me. So, yeah. So, we are going to do Catalyst. We are going to spend 6 to put out 2 orbs. Go an orb there. We'll go an orb there. So, that's going to give me 6 points and let me move something down. So, that's 6 points. I'm going to move down my Spirit Bog, and then because I move something down, that gives me 3, like so. And that is mine. So they're going to go one more time. They get a movement of 3. 1, 2, and 3. Play the top card. They get another specialist. I believe at this point I am going to pass. So I pass. So now they're going to pass. So now we move to the battle phase. So I can spend nothing there. So I'm going to spend all 7 of mine here. So I'm at 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. They are going to draw the top 2 cards. So they get 2, 6, 9, 10, 11. So we are tied. I win ties. So I get to grab my little thing. I'm going to grab the little dot guy for right there. We'll do their bonuses first. They are going to get 4 points. 1, 2, 3, 4. They're going to be able to move 1 down. These are both 1, so we'll just give them that. So I get a card. Doesn't fully matter. I get 3 points. 1, 2, 3. And then I get to move 1 down. We're just going to stack those up for them. Like so. So that is that one. They are going to be over here. So they are going to draw 2 cards. So it is a 1 and a 2, 3, 4, 7. So they were in this one. So they get a point for the resource they don't get. And then they move up on the coven track, which gives them 6 points. Like so. And that is that. Let me get my people back, and then we'll set up for endgame scoring. So we are going to total up their points first. So they are going to get points from their specialists, and then they are going to get points from their places of power and their rituals. Oh, they grabbed one of these. They do not care about matching the symbols like I do. They are just going to basically be doubling one of them. So, let's see. Do they have any? They have a 4. They have a 4, and they have a 3. And they have a 2. So 4, 3 is 7, plus 2 is 9. So I'm going to give them the 9 points for the power stones right now. And then we'll just have to total up all the point values, and then we're going to be good. So we have 3, 6, 10, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. So that'll be easy. 10, 20, 30. So that is all of their points. I am now going to get points for my specialists and my places of power. I do not have any end games down here. So we go 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then down here we have 2, 4, 7, 10, 12, 15, 18, 22, 26. So 10, 20, 6. And just making sure I didn't miss any points up there. Nope. So they won 98 to 85. So their end game scoring definitely is a little bit higher. As you saw, they had, 30 to my 26, only by 4. But the points that they're getting throughout by doing the harvesting, gain points for that, and their battle value up here could get insane as well with if you get the right card draws. So that did seem like a little bit of a harder solo mode. It could also have been, like I said, I didn't really get many places of power that gave me the resources I needed, so trying to manipulate that. And I probably should have went there a couple times in round 2. But hopefully that gave you an idea of how Evenfall plays. Again, the way I was playing on my turn is exactly how your other player would be playing, so you'd be going back and forth that way. You wouldn't have the whole little rondelle track, but how I played it. Let me make sure there's nothing I didn't do. Place power, yep. Clan token, yep. Played a card, all 3 spaces, used an action space, built catalyst, free action. So yes, I've shown you all of the actions and how the battle works. So if you enjoy that, if you could please go ahead down below and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, ring the bell. If you've played this, let me know what faction you yourself have used. Also down there are ways that you can help support the channel with our Ko-fi, where you can buy me a drink to help me wallow away my defeat, or you can join our Patreon for behind the scenes stuff that we're going to be doing on there. Alright, so until next time, fall unevenly. I'm not sure.